A long process of miseducation at school and a forced diet of propaganda for the rest of the time has, for instance, seen to the rearing of a population that either thinks money and the economy are too complicated for them to understand, or has accepted the furry end of the lollipop stick handed to them by the powers that be. Inflation, what they would have us believe is to blame for the cost of living crisis, which is really a cost of lockdown crisis, is caused always and only by government working hand in glove with the banks to make themselves rich and everyone else poor. Inflation is caused always and only by the printing of money. Quantitative easing, as they have called it most recently, although dodgy types alighted on the tactic thousands of years ago to keep their subjects poor, is a transparent attempt to disguise a Ponzi scheme, the Ponzi scheme being modern currencies, which is the conjuring into existence of money from nothing, which only banks are allowed to do. Every time they magic up more money, put more of the currency into circulation in whatever form, what they actually do, in fact, all they do, is devalue any money you had in your pocket or in savings. This is deliberate. This is why excess money is created in the first place. Just as a for instance, since the creation of the so-called Federal Reserve in the United States in 1913, which is not federal, being a private company run for profit by secretive bankers and holds a reserve of precisely nothing, the actual value of the dollar has fallen by at least 90, if not actually 98%. Inflation is the invisible tax. I'll say that again for emphasis. The invisible tax almost everyone has been tricked into not seeing, far less being angry about. The same trick, a trick that would be illegal if any of us tried it, is pulled here in Britain by our own central bank, the Bank of England, and by central banks around the world, all of them in service to the Bank for International Settlements in splendid isolation in Geneva, in Switzerland, where none of us can affect its operation in any way. Our government, everyone's government, be it nominally democratic, fascist, totalitarian, communist, or monster raving loony, it makes no difference, uses banks to put people into debt and then continuously devalues the currency by creating more money, always out of nowhere, and so making it harder and harder, all but impossible in fact, for anyone ever to be free of that debt. If all debt was repaid, all money would vanish. You heard me right. If you understand that much, you understand the money flow of the world. This stuff is hiding in plain sight, but so easy to understand when you bother to look at it. And I say that as someone who got a C in maths.